right, so we are on the back of your 9.5 notes for hyperbolas. So let's start with number 5. Number 5 starts with the Y term. So this one's going to open horizontally. Wait. Yes, vertically. Sorry. So up and down. Nothing's being added or subtracted, so it's got a center at 0, 0. If you take the square root of the denominator 16, you get 4. If you take the square root of the denominator 1, you get 1. That means you're going to have well, let's plot our points. Okay, so our center's right here. The Y stretch is going to go up 4 and down 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, put a point. 1, 2, 3, 4, put a point. And 1 right and left. Okay. If it's going to open up and down, that means this is a vertex and this is a vertex. So this one is at 0, 4 and 0, negative 4. And transverse axis, double your 4, you get 8. Conjugate axis, double your 1, you get 2. What else do we need? We need the c squared, or the c. So let's plug in 4 squared plus 1 squared. So that's 16 plus 1. So the square root of 17, didn't we do that on the front? Wasn't it like 4.1-ish? Something like that? All right, so let's make a rectangle here. Then you're going to use your highlighter to draw in your asymptote. So go corner to corner and corner to corner. All right, so what do we got? We're going to get really close to this asymptote right here, really close to this one right here. Go that way. And then we need our foci. So from the center, we're going to go 4.1. So just after the vertex here, just after the vertex there. You can barely see it. Here's how that pink one turns like black as soon as you touch it to any ink. All right. Any questions on 5? We're good on 5? All right, let's look at 6. So 6 starts with y squared as well, so it's going to be vertical, open up and down. Center at 0, 0. We need vertices. So square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 16 is 4. So if the center is at 0, 0, we want to go up 5 and down 5, put a point. We want to go right and left 4, put a point. So it's rectangle, but it's almost a square. Okay. Drawing your asymptotes. Okay, so the vertex ends up being at 0, 5 and 0, negative 5. We need transverse axes. Double the 5, you get 10. Conjugate axes. Double the 4, you get 8. And then we need our foci. So let's go c squared equals 5 squared plus 4 squared. So 25 plus 16, which is 41. Square root of 41 is 6 point something or other. Okay. Thank you, 6.4. So 6.4 is almost there, and 6.4 is almost there. Okay. Any questions on 6? So 5 and 6 are kind of like the front. They're not too different. When you get down to 7 and 8, notice that they are not in standard form like we like them. The form is the same as what it was called the other time. It's called the, what's the correct word for it? General conic form. I just have to look it up. General conic form. All right, so we're going to take it from general conic form and put it into standard form, which makes it easier for graphing, right? So when we did it with circles, we looked for all the x terms. Well, there's only one of them. So we're going to write negative 9x squared. But I'm going to put negative 9 times x squared. So I'm going to factor out that 9. And then I'm going to group my y's together. So I'm going to have y squared plus 2y. Leave a space to complete the square. And then move this 8, this negative 8, over to the other side so it becomes positive 8. Now we don't need to complete the square on the x term because it's just x squared. So that part of the vertice is going to be 0, right? This one we want to complete. We've got half of 2, which is 1. 1 squared is 1. So we're adding 1, which means we need to add 1 over here. And then this is going to factor to y plus 1, quantity squared. This is going to be negative 9 times x squared. If you want to write it as x plus 0 squared, that's the same thing, right? And then on the right, we've got 8 plus 1, which I just said the answer, is 9. Okay, but we don't want a 9 over here. What do we want over here? A 1. So we're going to divide all of the terms by 9, which will force this to be 1. Okay, and over here, 9 divided by 9 is 1. So we have negative x squared plus y plus 1 squared over 9. But we don't actually want the sign in the middle to be plus, because that would be the ellipsis. Right? We actually want it to be minus. So we're going to switch the order of these two terms. So it's going to be y plus 1 squared over 9 minus x squared equals 1. So at first, it looked like it was going to be horizontal, right? Because that x squared was out front. But when you put it in the correct order, it's actually going to be vertical. So it's going to open up and down. Where's the center going to be at on this one? Should be negative 1, right? 0, negative 1. So at 0, negative 1, so right here. And then square root of 9 is 3. So we're going to go up 3 and down 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Square root of 1 is 1, so just 1 right and left. So that's going to give us a pretty skinny rectangle there. And if it's opening up and down, that makes this and this our vertices. So our vertices are at, gotta shrink this, sorry. Where's that? 0, is that 2? 0, 2. And 0, negative 4. Bless you. Bless you. And then just draw in your asymptotes, corner to corner. Draw in your hyperbolas. And what's left? We need the foci. So c squared, I'm running out of room. Good thing I made lots of room at the bottom. What is it? 3 squared and 1 squared? Yeah. 3 squared plus 1 squared. Square root of 10. What's that? 3.1-ish. So just after the vertices, right there. Bless you. All right. I think 7's the hardest one on here, so 8's just a little bit easier than 7. Let's see. We only have an x term at one x term and one y term. So the first step is just to move this minus 100 over to the other side. So we're going to have 4x squared minus 5y squared equals 100. Then you divide everything by 100. So the right side becomes 1. And then 4 over 100, 4 goes into 100 how many times? So we have x squared over 25 minus, and then 5 and 100 reduces to 20th. So y squared over 20. So this one's going to be horizontal. So this one's opening left and right. The center is easy because nothing's being added or subtracted. So we've got 0, 0. And then square root of 25 is 5. So from 0, 0, we're going to go 5 left and 5 right. And then the square root of 20. It's roughly 4.5-ish. Okay. So go up 4.5 way. 4.5 way. Draw your rectangle. Bless you. Most of them are perfect squares, but when you get, the square root of 20, just punch it in your calculator real quick. Okay? Then what do we need? We need to draw in our asymptotes. It's hard to pronounce, but it's even harder to spell. We're going to open on this one left and right. So going this way, going this way. So our vertices are negative 5, 0, positive 5, 0. Longer axes was 5 and 5, so 10. Conjugate axes, shorter one, 4.5, 4.5, so roughly 9. I'm going to put approximately 9. What else? Foci. If we forget anything, I feel like we're forgetting something. So let's do c squared equals 5 squared plus the square root of 20 squared, which looks horrible but actually comes out pretty nice because 5 squared is 25, and then when you square the square root of 20, you get 20. So it's 45. Take the square root of it, and the square root of 45 is roughly 6.5-ish.